BR. Yes, educative, qualitative, informative radio station straight out of IB to the world. So last year, business video all the way. It's about business. It's time for bottom line. I know you are the bottom line. Expanding capacity for political participation. It's time for bottom line. I know you are the
Bottom here, be double T now.
expanding
I mean,
capacity
just
for political
single T.
participation.
Bottom here, be double T now, you single T. Okay.
Some trust in chariots, and some in horses. But we put our trust in our God. They are governed and firm, which only are reason and stand upright. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, the Southwest region. Good morning, Oyo State. Ibadan City. Good morning. Welcome to Bottom Line here on Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM Ibadan. I am Olatubosun on your regular host on the program. We are carried away. Mandate of the people for the next 1 year. And so, what happens since Nigeria returned to democracy in 1999? The pattern is that a year, the next election, when you have an incumbent that is seeking a re-election at whatever, and everybody talks of politics. We used to it that of the 4-year mandate enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, the people will even concede it to those that have been elected into one office or the other, that they have 3 years to face issue of governance, and the last year will be spent, will be used for politicking. But that ought not to be the case. So even when we are carried away, from this end, we owe you the responsibility of calling you back home. And that's why on the first segment of the program today, we will be looking at governance in Oyo State, where things stand. How are you being? If 24 hours in politics is such a massive time, 1 year is enough not to get our attention. What will happen within the next 1 year in governance will determine whether some persons will survive for the rest of their life or whether they will go with the tide. And so it becomes important and imperative for us to beam our searchlight on some developments in the state. So attention will be on issues bordering on governance in Oyo State. And on the second segment, Of course, the first segment will be longer than the second segment. A former commissioner for finance in Oyo State, Bimbo Adekambi, is going to be my guest. I had an engagement with him, and he will be speaking on issues bordering on Oyo State governance itself, how we've been governed, because most times we don't want to talk about the past. But every good student of history knows that in order for you to forge ahead, you must look back at where you are coming from. It may not be easy for Governor Seyi Makinde because he has opposition. Some persons may be wondering, oh, APC, can they give him a run for his money? But when it comes to election, the political class knows how to unite. Adebayo Adelabu has declared his interests. Oh, Seyi must go. Senator Teslim Folari has done same. Aziz Adedunton, Nia Akintola, some persons have withdrawn from the race. And so, it's indeed a time to be careful of. But that notwithstanding, we need to ask some questions. And so, the mouthpiece of the government, the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, joins me on the program. Good morning, Doctor. It's good to have you.
Yeah, all glory to Almighty God, the merciful, the most merciful, and we thank Almighty God for sparing our lives. And on that token, I greet all my Muslim and Christian brothers all over. Those who are listening to me, that's good morning and peace from Almighty God. So permit me to start by saying in Yoruba, Ibalukoto to Kojusirawa Palubende, Ibalukoto to Kojusirawa Palubende to Lukiloki, Ibapatawa, Ibapatese, Ibayamo protocol to Dorikoto to Bonosum to Bonosete. The world will let you cargo Yoderamusu, Hakuta to Bawa let you cargo Yoderamusu. Jeme Wasiu, Atani. Adéwálé Olatubosun ọmọ ìyá alágbo mo wọlé lẹ́yìn mo kẹ́yìn bàbá mo kẹ́yìn ìyá mo kọ́ ọmọ kékeré mo kọ́ àgbàlagbà mo kóbìnrin mo kọ́kùnrin ìbá mi rè o ẹ má jẹ́ dára mo sùn. On that note, I greet everyone listening to us this morning. That's good morning Ibadan, good morning Oyo State, good morning Nigeria.
You're welcome to the program. Okay, so you can be part of the program. In case you have any question at any stage of the conversation, you can be part of the program. So take note that we are live on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is at IBR925FM Ibadan. But please, when you tweet, and if I have a copy, you tag me on our OM10. That's my personal Twitter handle. When you do that, it enables me see your tweets. Now you can send a text message to 0905 221 3356. I take that again, 0905 221 3356. That number is strictly for your text messages. And of course, we are live on Facebook at IBR 95 FM Ibadan. At IBR 95 FM Ibadan. So you can copy, you can like, comment, or you share. We're live on Radio Garden, talk of any platform. Of course, you can. And for those of us who are in the diaspora, we're going to look at issues bordering on governance in Oyo State. And the Commissioner for Information is with me. Dr. Olatubosun, once again, you're welcome.
No, good morning.
Is it true that Governor Seyi Makinde, who is the governor of the state, has abandoned governance? What is ahead of him is massive. A re-election is not easy to come by. He wants to perhaps record another feat because they will say that the jinx has been broken by someone, but maybe he wants to surpass the record, and that because of that, he hardly stays in Ibadan, which is the seat, which is his official seat. He shuttles between Abuja to the extent that governance now suffered. Is it true?
I strongly disagree with what you said. Throughout last week, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde was on Grand Throughout. Upper week, the same thing. We flag off Ogbomoso's design road, and he did many official assignments last week, and ditto this week. So I just, it's people can say whatever they like, but I know that governance, just it doesn't solve for anything. As a first citizen of the state, and it is not peculiar to Oyo State, So it has to be on his toes always. So what matters is that has he delivered, or is he still delivering? So have they noticed any area that people are suffering due to whatever that's happening? That is always in control of all activities, all the ministries, and most of the time we report to him. So whatever, and that's the reason why we have commissioners, we have head of agencies. So we are governor in our respective ministries and agencies. So if that's to do with the teacher, for the secondary school teacher, I think Pastor Alamo is there to coordinate on behalf of him. For the superb, the Dr. Nuri is there. I don't know who is there. For Ministry of Energy, Sheikh Wasiu is there. So it is most of the time it's always there because we report to him. So it doesn't. I don't believe that it has any negative thing, but it's always on ground.
Okay, so the opposition will suspect that playing national politics is not cheap, and that is what the governor is preoccupied with as we speak.
Let me quickly tell you this. As a politician and as former state secretary of the party, it is not new that when even it's not only doing this, even if it is any national convention that they want to get new national officers, they, all the governors, as the leader of the party in their respective states, will have to be involved. You understand? Check all his predecessors. They were also involved one way or the other when they were on the seat. Ditto to even his colleagues all over Nigeria. All of them will be involved in the national politics because he's the number one party man in
in
the state.
the States. Maybe the fear is that he shoulders many responsibilities, being the only governor of the PDP in the Southwest. Okay, so
Yeah.
he must play regional politics and national politics. There is nothing bad in that. But the question is, how secured is your state treasury whilst playing all of this?
I want to assure you and assure our people at home that principle of Governor Sheyi Makinde is that kobo or your state kobo spent on anything, or your state must have value for that kobo spent on that project or program. So, and we have not. If they have seen anything, they should let us know. Up till now, it has not, the Oyo State, if we are still at the top there, when it comes to issue of payment of salary, for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months now, there has been consistent drop in allocation to all the states, all the local governments. But up till today, it's only Oyo State that has been consistent in GSM 25th of every month payment of salary.
Permit me to come in there. Investigation says the state government is struggling because of the bond the governor had with the people of the state or has with them. And that it's really not been that rosy paying salaries. You're talking to the people. In the coming months, what should they expect? Is it true that the government is doing all it can, struggling at this time to pay salaries? And what should the people expect in coming months?
No, our commitment is to the people of Oyo State and civil servants, public servants are His Excellency's priority, and that is the promise he made with the people of Oyo State. He made with the civil servants. All the promises he made there, he's keeping to it, and he will continue keeping to it.
To the extent that the state will go and borrowing to fulfill these obligations.
Have you ever seen, or is there any document to show that we are borrowing to pay salary? Definitely no. All these are mere propaganda. As far as we are concerned, we are paying salary as at when. And this will be the first administration that has not reneged for once, that has not been allowing workers to go on strike before they get their entitlement. And even the pensioners, this will be the first time that they are making pensioners, retirees, so comfortable and living well.
What do you think this administration will be remembered for? Prompt payment of salaries or other things? Is that enough achievement for you?
Now, if you ask that, I've been responding to your questions, but with what you ask now, so I will start by saying that we made promises during the campaign, and after the campaign, we came up with roadmap to accelerated development, a document which produced 4 pillars. The first one is education. The second one is health. The third one is security. And the fourth one is expansion of economy. Now, for education, we promise that all forms of levy, both primary and primary, that's primary and secondary school, no levy will be collected. And immediately, His Excellency was sworn in May 29, 2019. All forms of levy in this public schools were suspended, and up till now, we have not reneged. 2, we also promised that we will give them materials, reading materials and writing materials. We succeeded in giving them textbooks for major subjects. We also promised to give them exercise, that's the writing materials. We have not reneged. We did in 2020, we did in 2021, and this 2022 as well. So we also promise that we are going to improve on our rating, education rating. And I'm saying now that from 26, we are now in number. Our position now, WAEC rating, is 11. And how did we arrive at? With all what we now we realize that most of secondary schools did not have enough manpower, and immediately His Excellency employed 5,000 teachers, and they were made to write exams, went through interview, and competent hands were employed. So now that thing has been helping us, and that is the manifestation of the current position that we have now in education. Health, we promise that we'll continue with the primary health, free primary health, okay, which we are still keeping to it. Another one in health is that we notice that out of 351 wards, we have less than, about slightly above 100 wards that can boast of primary health center. We promise that all the 351 wards in Oyo State will have primary health center each to the ward. And immediately, we have finished, and they have started using 299 has reached the 99 primary health centers have reached about 80-90% completion. So between now and December or January, we are going to be through with the remaining 51. So that is that. And another one in health is the free free health mission. We realize that primary health is for primary health care, like malaria and antenatal, postnatal. But if you have any complication that amounts to secondary health care, majority of our people, especially indigent people, those who don't have the resources, will just sit at home looking to God for miracle. And we felt that, okay, we can also take care of that. And that's the reason why we started Umetutu Free Health Mission. We started in 2020. We have done 2020, 2021, 2022. So each of the 2020 and 2021, we attended, we treated, and that it has to do with operation, it has to do with data thing, it has to do with the hair and hives and what have you. So over 500,000 people were treated and attended to during the period of each Free Health Mission year. So we just started that of this year, They started at Ajia Primary Health Center. As of this week, they were at Oko in Ogbomoso Zone. So they want to cover that. So they take that to all the 33 local government. That's the primary for the health. And we also employ the health officials, doctor, nurses, and what have you. So yes, we are having challenges because some of those people employed, they got job outside Nigeria, but we employ them, and we are also working on getting health officials or workers for primary health centers, and they have done. I mean, they have applied, and the process is ongoing with the primary health board.
Okay,
So that's the head for the security.
You're going to talk about security,
Okay.
and you say that the accelerated development plan stands on 4 pillars.
Yes,
No problem about that. I've got 2 messages. One is save our soul. I would read that later. I will talk about that later. But there is this one. Good morning. A truck fell down beside the Save and Serve bridge
Yes.
at the Olatubosun Road.
Yes.
Okay, you are aware of that?
Yes, I passed through that place. As you know, I live at local.
I'm aware. I just wanted to call the attention of what
Yes.
to that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
you can do that.
that's the essence of this. The other one is about an ugly incident that took place this morning. Some persons that were attacked, and they are presently at the University College Hospital in Ibadan. A 12-year-old boy was said to have been hit by 12 bullets, and that the victims, and they are in need of over 1 million naira. So it has nothing to do with their appearance, but of course, I think it's a save our soul message with this person had sent earlier on. We seize this opportunity to call the attention of Oitma to the truck that fell at Eleni Olugmeru, and the commissioner has confirmed that please help us swing into action, get it removed so that there can be free flow of traffic. Now let's talk about education.
Yeah.
You know, each time government officials have the opportunity of talking about the achievements or the strengths of this government, we always talk in the positive, expectedly. But as we speak, Dr. Olatubosun, there are schools where pupils are sitting. I mean in Ibadan. Now someone will say, Anu, come even to the interior. Now, the scorecard of the government must be looked at in this regard too. What are you doing about this? Now, infrastructure in our public-owned schools. Enrollment have increased, that's you're going to tell us. But when the number keeps increasing without adequate infrastructure, we get reports on daily basis that there are schools where students and pupils, I would not want to mention names, we've mentioned names in the past, but this time around, it's not about mentioning of names. What are you doing in this particular regard? Fine, enrollment is increasing in our schools, students are, trooping in, but when they get there, they don't have, materials to learn with, they don't have infrastructure.
Thank you very much. When you are talking of infrastructure, decay in infrastructure in our schools, not only schools, in most institutions,
Government establishments.
You cannot pin down that, okay, it is one particular administration. You understand? If past administrations have been taking it upon themselves to do, if we are having infrastructure deficits of 1,000 block of classroom, and this administration comes and puts in place 200, we will have 800 deficits. There is a situation where we are having 1,000 deficits, and we have not the past administration. I'm not shifting blame to any administration, because if they had done well enough, if people believe in them, they wouldn't have voted for Chidinma in the first instance. So all the things, the blame and the everything we should take the responsibility. So what I'm saying in lesson is that we started from zero level, and the infrastructure we are doing that. The first thing we realize is that what they could not access, the UBET fund that counterpart fund that we did not have, because they failed to pay our counterpart fund. So we did that immediately we came, and process is ongoing. We are facing, we have started providing infrastructure. We have started providing desks and benches, chairs and tables and whatever for them. But I'm not saying that we have reaching.
Okay.
So we have started. No. What I'm saying is that what we have done in this administration is very remarkable in the area of infrastructure. Then that does not mean that everything
has been done.
Okay, so we are working on that. Now that we started with providing materials, that is the textbooks and what, definitely we won't provide that this time around. But we have recurrent materials that we have to do every year, and that's exercise books and whatever. But since we are not doing that this year, so we are now facing infrastructure, and we started with the furniture, provision of furniture this session. So we are going towards that. And
the APC precisely lays claim to the educational materials that you're distributing. Were it not for time, according to them, the last administration would have taken the glory.
For 8 years? My brother, for 8 years? What they could not do for 8 years? And if you want to say that, what's happened to the Oyo State, Oyo State Hospital? Why is it that all the diagnosis work and what have you were referred to ABC Center, very close to
foundation.
The foundation?
Dr. Aziz Adedotan was here, and he issued a statement in that regard saying everybody that is talking about this should fear Allah in his word.
That's my brother now. You should know him.
Dr. Aziz Adedotan, he said nothing of such
nothing
happened. He said he brought investment to that hospital.
What type of investment? Thank you that we belong to the same profession. We lost one of us who worked with one radio station, a challenge. Immediately it happened, they rushed him there. The guy was left in pain until he died. And during that period, we have in our record that before we came in, they could not give them power. They could not power that hospital at night.
That hospital?
Yes, at night. And even at that, even someone who is laying claim that he brought investor, where were those investors? And thank God that people had said, even it was when during our 100 days in office that we tar part of the road in that hospital. So if he is now saying that he did this, he's trying to get ticket from the party, he will have to rub his ego.
So the last administration left that hospital without a generator.
I'm telling you.
Doctor, I hope you've not forgotten the trust fund that was created. Trust fund.
Did you know how much they released to Dr. Adedotan for the Earth Trust Fund that he organized? That kangaroo something.
They call it kangaroo.
I call it kangaroo because the money released to the ministry or to him to organize it, the money they realize, the records are there.
Can you tell the public, can you give us all the records? So you are saying the money released for the prosecution of that project is much more than what was realized.
Exactly.
How much was released?
I know, I wouldn't tell you
You have
that.
the record.
I don't have the
Doctor,
record.
you have books in front of you.
It doesn't matter. I don't have record on that. I'm concerned.
But you're telling the public that the amount released.
So I'm less concerned about that. You know, it is past administration. What I won't take is that if they now want to rubbish this administration, do you understand? Due to their ineptitude, negligence, do you understand? And they are now saying that, why couldn't you do this? Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we have certain areas that we have not touched, we will accept that.
So still talking about education, or what happens to the salaries of workers in tertiary institutions? For some time, we have been complaining that their salaries, get to them late and all that. I tried investigating. The government, did say that it was not responsible for their payment. For instance, if you are teaching in a particular institution, there's a governing council and all that.
Exactly.
But of course, some persons would say it is Sheyi Makinde's administration, your administration, PDP-led administration in the state.
Yes.
Has anything changed?
You should know where we started and where we are. By the time the last administration, I think a year before the last administration left, they reduced the subvention given to them to, I think, 25 or thereabout %. So asking them or making them to go and source for the balance. And that has resulted to accumulated salary for a very long time. When Sheyi Makinde came, he said, we are giving them 100% subvention. What's now caused that? I think it is the management of that institution that will be in better position
to give an explanation. But the workers there complain of.
I think you do the public a lot of good.
Course,
if you can get in touch with them.
But I just want to
get in touch with the either the VC or the chairman of
I
the
quite agree
governing
with
board.
you, but many of the workers in these institutions
Or
will
you
complain
call
about the high-handedness of the consultant employed by the state government for.
And I think our Commissioner for Education will be able to answer that.
Let's talk about economy, because our time is fast spent. Now, at a point in time, the state government sponsored thousands of, people to Nasarawa State. Your administration has been heavily criticized, saying what happens to this research institute here, but we have moved past that.
Okay.
Now, thousands of people are trained, but the people still feel and believe that not much is being done in terms of agriculture in Oyo State. And this is an agrarian society. There is this massive land for production and all that. So the belief of some persons is that this administration is not doing much in terms of agriculture.
I beg to disagree with you, because the investment, what we have invested in agriculture, and I want to also correct an impression. The idea of production, it's the agriculture has what you call value chain. You can involve in production. You can decide to be involved in buying the produce, take it to those who process it. You understand? We call all this chain agribusiness. So, and apart from that, you can decide to go into animal husbandry. So it is not tilling the land or using producing yam, maize alone. So, and it is depends on individual. So if you now send 300 people to go and learn about agribusiness, it is not basically on the production. It cut across all areas.
Where are these trainees as we speak?
Oh, some have started their business, agribusiness. Some have started.
One would have expected that there would be some sort of follow up, such that the government will know.
Yeah,
The tablets given to some of them are being used for personal businesses as we speak.
Dr.
Okay.
Debo Akande has dossier of all those people, and he has been keeping in touch with them, guiding them, and providing all necessary support.
Do you think the effect of their training is rubbing off on this state presently?
Of course, when you are talking of us having number 6, rated number 6 in IGR, and they are now saying that the Oyo State has least inflation rate in Nigeria.
That's the report.
That's yes,
Report the
yes,
state
and
government.
Bureau of Statistics, and apart from that, it is Oyo State that still having the food price, the least food price in Nigeria.
That's exactly the point. But the people are complaining that if they get to Bodija markets, they still buy at Ibadan
if
is
you want-
less expensive.
Yeah,
But this time around, you can't say that.
Because it is national. The inflation rate for instance, now, if not for the infrastructural facilities that this state, this administration has put in place, which has reduced the cost of transportation for those produce, they would have gone high, and it also will affect the price of those products.
So you think
Now,
the people are complaining of
for you
it's
to now know what you should have done is, okay, get to Abeokuta, get to Osogbo, get to Lagos. How much is 12 of yam? How much is a bag of maize? And how much is that in Bodija? So you'll be able to now compare. And then, because we need to be scientific, I told you that this administration used 3 things: science, data, logic, to drive whatever we want to do. So now, if you now want to say anything contrary, you must have your data.
So food prices is at the lowest in Oyo State.
The reason why people are not feeling it is the inflation rate at the national.
And the federal government must be blamed for that.
Exactly.
But detractors of the government, opposition, would claim that when it comes to agriculture, that is not on the exclusive legislative list. That if the state government were to be doing enough, maybe it would have been cheaper. Because reports that we've got and what we'll see is that, on daily basis, when you buy something at Bodija market today, when you get there tomorrow, you are likely not to. Ibadan used to be very, very, the cost of living here used to be very, very low. But reasonably, one cannot say that is the case. For instance, landlords, okay, and the middlemen, which we call the caretakers. They are taking more than enough from the people. The people look up to the government to help come up with a regulation that they are yet to see. So the control mechanism of the government, perhaps to stem the tide of this high cost of services, goods, and commodities. What should the people expect?
Yes, it is noted, and I will pass that to the appropriate quarters, especially the Commissioner for Land and Fiscal Planning, Honorable Shegun Laiwola. So thank God he's also a professional camp planner, so he will do something.
Still talking about the economy, the menace of Okada men. You know, a lot of people, it started in Lagos State, and some persons are quoting Governor Sheyi Makinde, what he said during the lockdown, that in order to build Oyo State economy, he is ready to absorb the problems and challenges of neighboring states. So the belief now is that this is a safe haven. Whilst Lagos State, which is a neighboring state, okay, is actually moving on this. People have expectation that Oyo State government would have come up with a modality. At a point in time, we were told that a registration was going on, but nothing.
Let me quickly just come in there, and I want to say, and you can take me up on this. We started the registration, resident registration, where we capture the data of every individual. I started.
Everybody
in the state.
residing in Oyo
Yes.
But the
With
people
bank
are that
data and thumbprint.
When did you start that?
It started about, I think, His Excellency flagged it off officially last week.
Okay, so should we blame your office, Dr. Olatubosun?
That what?
Not many people are aware of this.
No. The agency, there's agency in charge of that.
Oh, not your office.
No. It is ICT, and that's Bayo Akande, or Bayo Akande is in charge of that.
Of that.
So we are
I mean
now
communicating
that,
to the
people.
we
are doing. We have advised us to advise. We have advised the ICT that they need to do awareness, not only media awareness. We need to use all the four forms of communication. Just remove the interpersonal communication, but use the interpersonal, group communication, mass media communication, and new media communication. Let us use holistic way of promoting.
I can see all of this.
Yeah, you understand. I'm only telling you. You are saying that what is my ministry doing? I said we have advised them on what to do. That is the media plan. That okay, you need to do this. You need to do this.
Because one would have expected that the jingle would have been played.
Yeah, exactly.
I
know you want to your platform now.
Of course.
Yes.
But so we don't get to hear all of that.
So that's what I'm telling you. That ours is to advise. The ministry does not have the budget for that, but the agency we have advised the agency that we need to shout out loud so that our people in Oyo State will have a buy-in.
So you are registering everybody.
Everybody. So it is
like
if anybody.
Mini sensors.
Yeah, it's a mini sensor. In fact, during the flag off, I think it's this week, not last week. This week on Tuesday, during our ESCO meeting. So, our guy is saying that we are doing this so that the federal government will know that it is possible for Nigeria to have its sensors as at when due.
Really?
So we are doing this. It will help us when we have the data. If anybody commits any crime, that person can be traced and get arrested.
How soon do you want to get done with these projects?
It depends on the consultants handling it. Do you understand? But I want them to give us their plan, how they want to go. So are they going all out? When are they going all out? Presently, they are registering the civil servants now. So and the pensioners. Immediately they want to go out. Definitely,
The opposition should keep you on your toes. And of course, the media also. There is this belief that this administration is a chase of clouds, and as such, it does not want to step on toes. By now, the people expect that there would have been a rollout of a decisive plan of how to checkmate the influx of people from neighboring states. About 3 million. That's massive, no doubt about it. But what's your state doing? Okay, so it borders on security. For instance, the message I read earlier on, that's what the same and so message, and a million naira is needed. Okay, that's what the message says. So the belief is that if the government should do what it ought to do, there will be a total reduction in this kind of cases being recorded.
yeah, we are doing it, and we will continue to do it. The It is the responsibility of the state government to provide all necessary things in terms of logistics, in terms of equipment, in terms of material for the security agencies, and this administration has not reneged, and we have been doing that. And even if not for Amotekun, we only God knows what Oyo State will have, where the position will be by now.
The question now is how effective is Amotekun?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's because I could still remember immediately after NSAS, when anything happened and they called the police, they would say no, they won't come. And they didn't attend to people.
But that has changed.
Yeah, until when Amotekun came in, and we were using Amotekun until we were able to resolve all the gray areas, and they are doing wonderfully well now.
I could see you clad in Ashoke, and it's Cultural Day. I want to remind you of what you said when you took over as the Commissioner for Culture Information. You promised to make tourism a cash cow, or your has potentials.
Yeah.
Okay, there are cultural heritage sites and all of that here in Oyo State. How far have we gone? How much is the state making from that sector?
We yes, today is World Culture Day. So, and I'm using this opportunity to congratulate those of us who believe in Yoruba culture, believe in Igbo culture, believe in Hausa culture, not those in t-shirts, and so those who believe in Amala Begiri. So today I am here with this so that to promote our culture. We will have today. We supposed to have Oyo State Omituntun Cultural Festival today, but because today is Saturday and the two parties are preparing or doing the Congress, and we wouldn't want a situation where there will be, and that we advise, the security people advise us that it is better we should not hold it today, we can postpone it. So we are postponing it till after the convention of the two parties, so that nobody will have an excuse for doing any illegal thing.
You're not considering
So-
other political parties. The next dates you may pick may follow
No.
of any other political
The
party.
INEC has rolled out timetable. So we are not going to do it during that period. We will do it after the expiration of the date given by the INEC. So if we do it that and any party is saying that even if it's exercise in futility, if you conduct your primaries after the June 1st or so. So that's that. For the tourism, yes, we have a lot of tourism potential, but the belief of this government is that we believe in PPP, public-private partnership. We had in the past invited many people to come and invest in our tourism potential. Then we realized that yes, those many people show up. They presented their proposal and what have you. But where they failed to convince us was the area where how they are going to get funds for the project. We don't want a situation where someone will hold the state government down for a very long time, claiming that he's looking for funds. If you want to do it, you must have the resources. You understand? But for instance, let me give you one example. One man came to defend this proposal, saying that very lofty, very good, nice concept. We now asked how I to get the fund. He said through the bank. I said, fine. Can we get commitment from the bank that okay, this bank is not saying that it is we that will serve as guarantor. So if we can serve as guarantor to you, what stops the state government from approaching the bank to collect the money in the first time? But if we are now saying it is PPP, what we expected from you is to do all the necessary arrangement with the bank.
And let me quickly ask this.
So, and we didn't wait for those in Nigeria alone, local investors alone. We also, I met with the French embassy, French team. I met with Canadian team as well. So what we are now saying is that by before, because it's long time thing, it is not necessarily that it is this administration that will, but we are having an international tourism summit where those embassies will come with their team, and once they are interested in any of those things, they will now invest in it.
Okay, this PPP arrangement, which this administration has introduced, though it's a template that is not totally new, I hope it's not one that will leave the administration, maybe even after this administration, because the PPP arrangement at times it may be in possession of these investors for years, and if this period runs into another administration, I hope the next government, irrespective of the number of years spent on seat by this administration, I hope it's not going to be inherited by the next administration, irrespective of the sector.
If it's properly conceived and legally bonded, once you come in, you take over the assets and what?
The liability.
Liabilities. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if it is not properly, legally bonded, it is then that one can have. What about those people that we met? We inherited from last administration. The certain people that we inherited, and we didn't say they should go. So, except those who could not continue with their work.
Okay, before you open the phone lines, let me ask you, what efforts has the state government made to ensure that roads in the hinterlands even the ones that belong to the state government, local government, are fit. Roads need attention.
Yeah.
What is the state government doing
Okay.
in this regard?
With the last information at my disclosure, I got to know that His Excellency Makinde has mandated all the local government to submit the roads in their domain that they want to either rehabilitated or outright construction.
Okay, so the government,
So the AGON and the Minister of Local Government is in charge of that. So, and I hope very soon something concrete will come out of it.
there is something that has an issue that has become a subject of political controversy, and it's about the debt profile of your state. The opposition claims that should the people know what the debt profile of this state is presently, perhaps they will ask some questions.
What's happened is that we need to educate our people that there's nothing bad in borrowing if the loan is capital targeted.
So this government is borrowing.
We always come out to say that okay, this project we are doing this. So it's no government is not even the federal government.
No, it's been a while.
Right.
You told the people you want to borrow. So when the opposition say the debt profile is increasing,
They will have to say something now. Okay, you hit them. You have taken the public away from them, and they want to now say, okay, they need public sympathy. They will have to say something, and they fail to learn that okay, when you want to do that, how the approach will you use to get that public sympathy to your hand. Do you understand what I'm saying? Any loan that this administration got, they are always attached to particular projects.
So when last?
So it is not recurrent. We are not borrowing money to service recurrent expenditure like salary.
When last?
They are projects, and then by the time we are through with the project, such projects will now yield a revenue, and the revenue accrue from such project will increase the IGR profile of the state.
When last the state government borrow, and for what projects?
No, I think it's been last year.
2021. Okay. When last year?
Yeah, I think I don't have the exact date, but I know that immediately after the ESCO, we addressed the press conference.
Okay.
So, and that's the money that we are saying that we are going to use for particular project which I roll out.
Can you remember the figure?
No, I wouldn't want me to be quoted by saying that I mentioned only two and that it's this. Do you understand? So I don't have the list of those projects.
Okay, let me start with text messages. Maybe some of them are questions that they would want you to answer. My issue with the opposition parties in Oyo State stands is that can they eschew politics of bitterness? For how long must we continue with business as usual politics? Governor Makinde's administration is championing a new course which the masses embraces. Ayodele from Malakia. It is quite irritating when politicians talk to us at times. The man in the studio was an integral part of the last administration, and seeing him here now making negative comments about that administration. Politicians are very selfish set of people who do not read the people at all. God bless Nigeria. Shayo send that message. This government is not doing enough in the area of agriculture. This has had adverse effect on the cost of living in Oyo State? Why also your guests have not done enough to sell the efforts of this government to the people being Ogodia from Olodo Bank? I know sincerely we are enjoying the good works of GSM in Oyo State. Sheiks from Akobo, Morning and Luapo. Your guest is just confusing himself when he said he has the fact that he can prove to the public that this present administration have the data of past government, which he can prove to confuse the people. This the agricultural training program is nothing but a scam. We don't see the effect of it in the society. Food prices in other southwest states is better far than Oyo State that's supposed to be the food basket of this region. I will only send that message. Oyo State government should really do something about these housing agents and these Okada men. They should be monitored. I beg. Kiyaye Koto sent that message. Whether Mr. Moridian, our guest in the studio, as much as I will commend Mr. Governor on his effort in the state, but standing right in the middle of our roads in Ibadan without any control is posing a serious problem presently. From monotone street trading. Okay, sir, parents are no longer speaking Yoruba language to their kids. What are you doing about this? Fantastic. I love this question. Steve, I hope you've taken note of it. Good morning, Mr. Anu. Dr. Olatubosun, I always follow you in many of your public discussions. Please, with sincere mind, how far have you gone about School of Hygiene, LALA, Environmental Technology, which you promised? Second, your administration should give agricultural sector priority. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Miriam, Governor Sheyi's, okay, it's a long one. Governor Sheyi's administration has had a significant impact on all citizens. He has enumerated his agenda and has never veered from doing justice to all. The governor's accomplishments have been recounted by the guests, but I would like to remind everyone that the government also recruited 150 special people with needs to provide them with a suitable life and eliminate the rate at which they beg on the street. Governor Sheyi Makinde's good governance is what I admire. Okay, Miriam, thank you. Hello, and first, thanks to Dr. Olatubosun for the excellent explanation. I only want to encourage Governor Makinde to keep up with his wonderful job, particularly road construction within and beyond Ibadan. May God continue to guide him back east or Nodimo. Makinde should be realistic for once and stop cosmetic projects. He should have the urge for projects that can stand the test of time. He has decorated his tenure with misplaced priority enough by sinking the entire state funds on motor parks and streetlights powered by generators that is unsustainable. Biodunola send that message. I know anytime I hear state governors asking local government to submit their proposals for projects, I'm always angry. Why is it difficult for the governors to allow these local government executives to work with their councillors and do the projects in their local governments independently? Taiwo Dare sent that message. Let's pick some calls. Just take note of them. Hello, good morning, sir.
I can.
Okay, Comrade Ismail Adedamola, you're welcome.
Good morning to the doctor in the studio.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, sir.
I want to say that I'm disappointed in some of your analysis this morning. Being a commissioner of information and tourism, you are supposed to back up some of your explanation with the facts and figures. But every time the anchor asks you to quote the figure, you say that you don't want to quote it. That means that you are short of information. So that is what that. And number two, we talk of the tourism. I'm happy that I'm a tourism expert. There is a lot of benefit. And let me tell you, there is not going to be any progress in tourism sector if there is no security. What has the state government done in terms of improving security? Lastly, I don't know whether you are aware of what is going on with the public school, because almost whenever you people come to the media, you say that the state government are doing this and doing that. The people that the younger ones, they are in short of the teaching facilities in their classroom.
Okay.
If you have anything contrary to what I'm saying, you can complete.
Okay, comrade. All right. Thank you so much, comrade, for your time. Hello, good morning. Thank you so much, sir. Pastor Dumbaku, you're welcome, sir.
I am speaking from I guess someone here. That is a better local government area. Why is it that you don't local governments are not functioning at all. As far as this area is concerned, either commercial or private use, it's just too bad. And nothing is going on about it. And nobody is doing anything about it. The landlords, they have contacted the local government, but nobody is doing anything at all. So I am in position to move, and I know very much what is happening as far as this area is concerned. We are not enjoying the services of the government at all.
Which area, sir? Which area, sir? Hello, sir. What? What?
You wanted to ask a question?
I said which area? Which area in Egbeda?
I'm Egbeda.
Where?
Oak Junction. Yeah, Oak Junction.
Hope Junction. Abi?
That is what I'm talking.
Hope Junction, Abi?
Oak Junction.
Okay, it's Alake, Abi?
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your time on the program. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Olatubosun.
Go ahead, sir. Mr. Gunika Joseph, you're welcome.
Yes, those who don't know those things that this present administration is doing in Oyo State, I think with what this commissioner has come to do now, he has enlightened and educating people about what this present administration is doing. He cannot continue to extrapolate all, but he has done more than enough. Now, on the area of education, we have seen the effort of this present administration. The present administration is trying in all our capacity to bring education back to the normal standard. And the lacuna in which we are emphasizing or that we are seeing in education have been created by the past administration. Now that this government is encouraging even the out of school children to come back to school. Now we are experiencing certain things which is unavoidable. Those things are unavoidable. Now we must try as much as possible to sustain this. My question now is this: with the present crops of PMS that we have outside now, the way they are gallivanting themselves in the town, it is discouraging. And the students that are out of school that are come back to school, now with the way these people are gallivanting, what effect do you think this can have on our education?
PMS.
Thank you.
All right.
You said the EMS.
PMS.
PMS. Okay.
Let's make more calls. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Thank you. You're welcome, Sulaiman Sharif.
Just to from the explanation. Because we citizens of Oyo State, sometimes we need proper education what is going on in our state. As you all know that the nationality number, so some makers will try to spreading fake or fallacy of information about what is going on. About the stamina of in Ojo and challenge. So I want to give news to the state government on it because I read during the week that even in Ondo State, so they are planning to do so. So about the PMS guys, they said that the state should maybe during the week that I read that they take some action. The way they enforce the law against any misconduct among them. Please, I want the state government to enforce this very well because anything can happen.
Okay.
You have to provide for them. You must be able to use it.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Sulaiman Sharif. Let's be considerate. Others are waiting. Hello, good morning. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I think in as much as issue of local government personally, I will not start it with this general thing or nothing. The local government are given the opportunity to start a role and begin to do their thing alone. And they can't have anything with the other part. I think the commissioner too, just as the other callers have said, has not done enough, more than enough, to explicitly, tell us what this administration has been doing. And of course, by its role in that government, it's supposed to be the program, mouthpiece of government. It needs to convince the people more on what the government has been doing, the achievements so far. And of course, as far as the is concerned, I think, not only I think, the government is not doing enough. By this side time, the complex, what the handwork of government to be simple.
Okay. All right.
Honestly, those are the
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Benga Ogudia, for your time. I will allow the commissioner to respond because I think
Okay.
he's got a list that is long. Local government administration is dead in Oyo State. People that are praising this government, they are praising people that are praising this government. Are the roads to their houses motorable? Do they have pipe-borne water? We celebrate the bare minimum to high heavens in this country. Local government should be allowed to function in Oyo State. Shayo, send down message.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate those who sincerely spoke from the depth of the mind and what the some are taking note of, those that I don't need to respond to. Those who those points that I have here, the area of agent, I think if you follow this program since we started, I know has that question, and for me to say that I will go back and tell I will go back to tell the Honorable Commissioner for Lands and Physical Planning. I think that's the appropriate thing to do, because that thing does not fall within my portfolio. And I said, you are now saying that I shouldn't have said that I should have said what? So as far as I'm concerned, the issue of agent, the middleman, the landlord and what have you, we are going and the caretaker, that's agents. So we are looking at I will take it up with the Honorable Commissioner, by special grace of God, immediately I leave this place. And the issue of street trading, we believe in engaging people instead of using force. If you look at the last administration used force during the first time, and that was when I was with them, saying that I run down the last administration. For your information, maybe you can get in touch with your leader. I was the local government chairman there, not the state up until. So, and the issue of street trading was enforced during the first time. During the second time, you will see that the whole thing was relaxed. So, and by the time the 2019 election took place, the street traders were everywhere. So, but that's not an issue. What we are saying is that we need to engage people. We have started engaging the market leaders. We are talking to them, and we want to provide alternative, and we have started. See what happened at Challenge. We said, okay, let's go and do something at Scout Camp. We asked them what factors militating you from going to Scout Camp, and they gave us the list of those things. And His Excellency went there and asked that those things be provided, and we provided that thing. And today, the Scout Camp is functional. So we are looking at providing alternative before you now say, okay, and we continue appealing, engaging them, so that they themselves will know that, okay, if I steal this thing, it's not good, oh. Okay, don't let me steal. So if it doesn't occur to his subconscious mind, you will not see anything bad in that. So, but if we keep on appealing, and at appropriate time, after the appealing, if we have exhausted all the appealing mechanism, then we can now use force.
So the second one, nobody wants to do the right thing. There are times you can whip people.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. But it is after you might have exhausted the appealing mechanism and the alternative mechanism.
Isn't it taking too long?
No, it's not. It's not. If they had provided alternative for them, do you understand? We wouldn't have been looking for alternative now. So
was cat cam not provided? Not one, not
two. The scat cam that was provided, they didn't provide the necessary things that will make that place conducive for traders. Do you understand? And with the record we have, do you understand? Majority of those people that were given that shops, they lock those shops. They were not the traders who needed it in the first instance. Until when we revoke the allocation and we now give it to those who are in need. So those are in need are now there now. So now, if they are now saying they want this administration to now take the responsibility of their failure or something, it won't happen. Yes, I agree with the caller who advised that we should encourage parents to speak Yoruba or our Hausa or Igbo to their children, so it will enhance and help the coming generation to appreciate our culture and be proud of it. I agree with it. And I also want to appeal to all our media outfits, especially traditional media. So you also have a role to play by also making sure that you pop up the percentage of our cultural programs.
We're doing that.
So,
we expect that the government will encourage us to do more.
The issue of school of hygiene, I think I was on one program and they raised it, and immediately I left the place. I called the PS immediately, then permanent secretary, and I called the provost of the school. So, and they made a release. So with what I'm now hearing now, and that's the essence of this. If we go out, the essence is to get the feedback. So all this idea of we want feedback, we want this, we want that. The essence of coming here is to get the feedback. One of the feedback is that you can go and cross-check this, my brother. The passengers that board flight, plane, domestic, the entire airport that we have in Nigeria is less than 45,000 daily. For Ibadan alone, the statistics show that those who board vehicle, about 55,000. So that means investment in that, if it's properly managed, it's not too bad. So I would say that.
Do they leave the state or they come into the state?
What?
Those that board vehicles from parts.
Internal.
55.
Yes, internal. Those both the intra and inter towns within Oyo State.
So it's an economy for the state government. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly. Once they take when the people patronize, and we get revenue from that place, and it goes to government
But
cover.
the people want to know how much you rake in on monthly basis.
They just started, they just commission, and it's not up to a month.
So are you promising the people that they will be
Statistics
getting
shows
this
that
update?
even in economics, you base on monthly basis. How much are you making?
So are
monthly?
you promising the people
that
that
was
they will be getting monthly feedback?
even
People are really interested. They want to know how much you are
Let me
making
tell
from
you
this
one
one.
thing about transport business. Yes, if you say this month you are making 1,000 naira, by next month it can increase to 5,000 naira. By upper month it can reduce to 800 naira.
But at least
It
you
depends.
give them periodic.
So if you now say it is 1,000 naira, people will now use it either to now calculate and say 1,000 naira carried you. So now the other one is, if you now say it's 5,000 naira, they will now say 5,000 so oh yeah, go ahead now. Do you understand? They won't be ready to listen to when it dropped to 800 naira. So now another one is local government non-functional. There's this adage that says that that is constitutional issue. Constitutional issue.
Doctor.
So
no, it's not a constitutional issue.
I move and I want for that for your state. I know that you have not seen any local government chairman that has come out to say that they are not being collecting their
Allocation.
money 2 or 3 weeks ago. I know they had JAP meeting. So that is that. The issue of PMS, you have helped us with that. That he himself suggested that we should curtail the ISSs, which we have done, and how to now make sure that we maintain that. So I think that's the reason why we have the OTMA, we have the Honorable Commissioner for Public Works and Transport, Sangodoyin, and the CP, the former, the outgoing CP
Commissioner.
So you see that it is inter-agency and ministerial. So it's all of them will come together to make sure, and even the chairman of the PMS disciplinary committee, Mokala Lamidi, spoke on that day that if they see any of his boys or his members doing anything contrary to the rules and regulations given to them that day, that person should be judged.
Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, it's been a long day. I must say a big thank you to you.
We still have time.
You won't be surprised. Of course, I must go into the second segment.
Okay.
I must say a big thank you to you for coming on the program. You are surprised that we spend this number of minutes. Of course, thank you so much. Another time provides an opportunity to have this kind of conversation. I had an engagement with the former commissioner for finance in Oyo State, Mr. Abimbola Adekunle. He speaks on some issues.